Hail to thee, bleed spirit, bird thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart in profuse strains of unpremeditated art. Higher still and higher from the earth thou springest, like a cloud of fire, the blue deep thou wingest, and singing still dost soar, and soaring ever singest in the golden lightning of the sunken sun, over which clouds are brightening, thou dost float and run like an unbodied joy whose race is just begun. The pale purple even melts around thy flight, like a star of heaven in the broad daylight. Thou art unseen, but yet I hear thy shrill delight, keen as are the arrows of that silver sphere, whose intense lamp narrows in the wide dawn clear, until we hardly see, we feel that it is there. All the earth and air with thy voice is loud, as when night is bare, from one lonely cloud the moon rains out her beams and heaven is overflowed. What thou art, we know not. What is most like thee? From rainbow clouds there flow not drops so bright to see, as from thy presence showers a rain of melody. Like a poet hidden in the light of thought, singing hymns unbidden till the world is wrought. To sympathy with hopes and fear it heeded not, like a high-born maiden in the palace tower, soothing her love-laden soul in secret hour, with music sweet as love which overflows her bower, like a golden glow-worm in a dell of dew, scattering unbeholden its aerial hue among the flowers and grasses which screen it from the view, like a rose embowered in its own green leaves, by warm winds deflowered till the scent it gives, make faint with too much sweet those heavy winged thieves. Sound of vernal showers on the twinkling grass, rain awakened flowers, all that ever was joyous and clear and fresh, thy music doth surpass. Teach us, spirit or bird, what sweet thoughts are thine? I have never heard praise of love or wine that panted forth a flood of rapture so divine. Chorus hymeneal or triumphant chant, matched with thine would be all but an empty want, a thing wherein we feel there is some hidden want. What objects are the fountains of thy happy strain? What fields or waves or mountains? What shapes of sky or plain? What love of thine own kind, what ignorance of pain. With thy clear, keen joints, languor cannot be. Shadow of annoyance never came near thee. Thou lovest, but never knew love's sad satiety. Waking or asleep, thou of death must deem things more true and deep than we mortals dream. Or how could thy notes flow in such a crystal stream? We look before and after and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thoughts. Yet if we could scorn hate and pride and fear, if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever should come near. Better than all measures of delightful sound, better than all treasures that in books are found, thy skill to poet where the corner of the ground. Teach me half the gladness that thy brain must know. Such harmonious madness from my lips would flow. The world should listen then, and as I am listening now. The skylark is an embodiment of spirit, a manifestation of nature that brings to the man joy because of its songs. The bird fills the atmosphere with its sweet and melodious notes. Like an unknown poet absorbed in his thoughts, the skylark pours out spontaneously its message of hope and joy for mankind. The sweetest songs of mankind speaks volumes about very sad thoughts. His annoyance, anger, languor, hatred, pride, jealousy, and fear of death tell upon spontaneous rapture. In singing so joyfully and so attractively, the bird seems to typify the ideal poet to Shelley. So he concludes his poem with a prayer to the bird in order to be taught the secret of its pure delight. To a skylark is a marvelous lyric of delicate beauty and subtle charm. It is one of the most characteristic poems of Shelley. It is full of brilliant flashes of imagination and strong fervor of emotion, and exquisite felicity of expression and richness of imagery, rapturous strains of music, a haunting sense of frustration and melancholy yearning for perfection. The theme of the poem is not the skylark but its song and the feeling it awakens. The skylark is an embodied spirit of perfect joy and a scorner of the ground. It sings from the heaven or near it and overfloods the earth and the sky with divine rapture of its music which surpasses all that is joyous and clear and fresh. The flood of rapture is so divine, is surely something far from the sphere of our sorrow, and must have been prompted by the bird's instinctive love of its own kind, but without love's sad satiety, by its happy ignorance of pain, and by its better conception of death and truer knowledge of things lying beyond mortal vision. The skylark is thus idealized and made a symbol of the poet's own aspiration for an ideal love and life and of beauty. Like the theme, the inimitable language in which the poem is written is peculiarly Shelleyan in its character. It breathes the poet's emotional fervor and is marked by a splendor of diction and richness of imagery. The flight and the song of the skylark have been described by a variety of brilliant images in rapidly flowing verses. The images attest to the subtlety and ethereal quality of Shelley's poetic imagination and add to the artistic excellence of the poem. The poem is unique in its metrical skill and flow of rhythm. It bears the stamp of Shelley's own distinctive style and exquisite verbal music. The melody of the poem is as divine as the song of the skylark. The earnest hurry of the 4 short lines, followed by the long effusiveness of the Alexandrine, expresses the eagerness and continuity of the skylark's ethereal song.